I really hope that it'd be so cool if Marco can get here. I'm gonna hunt him down. Oh,
Sorry.
I gotta mute the. I can go to headphones too. Sorry, Lauren and I are in the same room here. Uh, but yeah, then my intentions for the call are really just to go through every piece and make a plan for the meeting. Really, I just want to almost make this Vitor's meeting and let him tell us what we got to do, and then help us stay organized. And distractions, I have a delicious smoothie in front of me that I'm going to be drinking, and I'm outside Austin Griffith's house, and so who knows, maybe he'll come by and say hi or something sometimes. And I'll pass it to Lauren.
Oh yeah, my intentions for the call are just like to be along for the ride. If it's Vitor's show, it's Vitor's show. And yeah, I'm not distracted. I'll pass it to Mitch.
Hello. Yeah, I'd like to see more from Vitor, and I'd love for Marco to join because I've tons of questions and stuff that we need to sync on for the Commons config dashboard. And I'd like to learn if there's anything else we need to get the ball rolling for in parameters, then maybe we can begin to discuss it. I'll give it to Mount Manu.
Thanks, Mitch. Yeah, well, intentions, I want to see how I can keep helping with the user testing, see what things are new, and if there's going to be another version. And that's it, no distraction. I'll pass it to Nugan.
Hey, yeah, well, distractions none, and intentions mainly just sync up and see what can be done and how everything's going. I'll pass it to Septimus.
Thank you, Nagan. Yeah, my intention is similar than you. Just sync up, and if I just making sure like I'm available, and if you guys need some support, I'm willing to help. And yeah, just to sync and see like the next step for the hatch. And I don't have any distraction. I'll pass it back to Vitor.
Hey guys, intentions are to show up a little bit of the planning and like maybe see the design, like how it's going. I think Marco said that he finished a few parts that I'm really eager to see how it is looking at, and then give some feedback. Oh, hey Marco, and then give some return on the dev work, like front and back end. And distractions, my little dog is quite crazy, and it's distracting me a little bit. No, pass to Marco.
Hey everybody, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, cool, great, awesome. I'm just gonna keep off my camera to save bandwidth. My intention discretions, right? Intentions. Yeah, maybe review the prototype. I've done a couple of updates in design and distractions, just bad Wi-Fi. That's all. Other than that, everything is cool. And I pass it over to who hasn't gone yet because I tuned in late. So whoever wants to go next.
I think that's everyone, right?
Well, all right.
Vitor, do you want to start this off?
Sure. Yeah, like I just have a few quick updates. So ideally like this week and next, like this week would be doing the intro part on the front end. There's our main bottleneck, and then next week the learning, and Fabio is like finishing it. Like in this part, he's basically finishing the transitions. So then we have cool transitions and the prototype, which is a little bit tricky, but he's figuring this out. But the like content-wise, it's almost done. He's like mostly doing the animation to make you get sure that like every time you change something or move, like it goes smoothly as possible. And Pedro and I are fixing a little bit a few feedbacks from Token First and Token Top. So just fixing a little bit of the API data to make it like a little bit simpler, faster. And then I think like in the middle of this week, or at least like in the next Sunday hack session, we can return like the improved version of the Token First and Token Top, and also have the learning and intro section ready for review, which will give us like 1 week extra of buffer, like could be 1 week ahead still. So it's good. And on the rest of the backend, I still need to, I will do this week, finish the disputable voting backend, so pass the repos, so then like we can just integrate as well. And I don't remember if I said that Pedro is also like, besides doing the token freeze and token thaw, he started doing the disputable voting design a little bit. Like I think the main things, even if we want to change something in the design part, like we still need that like skeleton of things. So I'm working like with him both in the token freeze and token thaw and the disputable voting, and also Fab is in the intro learning section, so we're pretty like ahead. And I think like Nugan did, I reviewed the pull request of Nugan for the ABC, and I think we're like moving in this side as well, right? If you want to like just talk a little bit more on that side as well. Okay. But yeah, other than that, I think that's it. Like we ideally would be like doing intro section right now, but we're working like in both many directions at the same time, so we can optimize time. And that's it from my side. We're ahead of time, which is good.
Nice. Well, then I guess I could pass it to Marco. Do you want someone to share screen or do you want to share screen and go through the prototype, or do you want us to share screen for you?
Yeah, if someone can share the screen, that would be great. I'm not sure if Mitch has the ability to do that.
Yeah,
because,
I can do it.
You know, I work. Thanks, brother.
Okay, let me just pop this up here. You guys should have that there. And just let me know.
Loading. Do you jump into the Figma directly? Things quickly.
Right now I'm at disputable voting. Or you want? Okay, here we go. I got you.
Oh, okay. You can click on the next. Yeah. This one is better. So you can go to the module. We got this voting here. You can zoom in.
Sorry, you cut out. Which one do you want to go to?
So voting, module 3, then disputable conviction voting, the next one.
Yeah.
It's also done here. I just added these 2 screens for the prototype. And then after that, we got the summary screen. It's on the right. We got a summary screen. Here you submit a proposal. We have a review and submit, where we have all the parameters on one screen, including the text area where you can you can write your strategy and thinking behind each of those modules. Then you can name your give it a title and overall common strategy, and then submit a proposal. At the top of this page, there is a toggle to advanced settings, and when you click on that one, it opens if you scroll down, it's the second page below. My idea was to reveal the advanced fields, like on the first one, on the first module, you get like these extra fields that you can modify. This is where I am currently. This is the last thing that I've done. Just waiting for you, actually, Mitch, to answer me one of my questions in Figma, so I can finish this page. And after that, we got an analytics page where we will have all charts displayed, and yeah, like that's gonna be it's gonna be the last page for the design before submitting the proposal. Like design is 97% done.
That's super cool. Is there I know that the next big focus probably the easiest one to focus on will be the disputable voting. What's for the development, for front end development? Is there anything big missing on this?
Yeah, we're in terms of the design, we don't have the graph for the dandelion voting settings. And I was looking at that today, and I'm wondering how important it is to show, because it's showing support required and minimum quorum.
I mean, what do you guys think? Vitor, Nuggin, Zeptimus, like Mount Manu, do you remember the dandelion voting, the triangle thing that showed you support required? How critical is that to show, do you guys think?
Like,
Can I just
I don't think
before?
it's. Go ahead, Marco.
Yeah, sorry, Griff. I know you didn't ask me, but I just wanted, like, before everybody else, like, for me, that chart was never interested. Like, when we did the hatch, I was never actually looking at a chart, because like those numbers were more important to me because I could like envision them in my head already. So like looking at a chart did not add any value to me as a commons designer. Like, that's just my maybe personal opinion or subjective opinion. So like, yeah, everybody else, go ahead.
Just in addition to that, like the other charts, like you add the parameters, but the chart gives you extra information, like the conviction voting chart, all of the charts, like the ABC, you can see like the like price over time or price over supply. But then the dandelion chart, like all of the information is already in the input parameters. It's just a visual like showing of it, but you don't get specifically anything from it. I think just like when you export the issue, I think it was nice to like you could just quickly look at it and compare proposals and like visually compare them, the support and card and etc. But yeah, I don't think that's. I think it's a nice to have more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me personally, like
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nine.
No, go ahead, Zeptimus. You go first.
Okay. Yeah, for me, like the dandelion voting graph, I mean, I really look more into the number, and like it's a very simple thing. So if there is no space and we want to show other stuff, I think is not like super relevant, like the dandelion voting graph. But yeah, that's my opinion. Yeah, back to you, Naga.
Yes, I also agree. Like when on the dashboard when designing, it was like putting in the numbers, seeing, oh yeah, it works exactly as you expect. So it didn't really add any new information most of the time. So or all the time. So I kind of agree with Vitor that it's more like a nice to have than something we have to have.
All right. Yeah, I agree with all this, and I guess since we're on such a tight short line, maybe it's better to cut it from scope for the moment.
Yeah, less is more. Sounds good.
Okay.
Do we include it in the final results though, like for the voters?
You'll have to have a design for it in order to be consistent with the rest.
Yeah. But well, it sounds like, yeah, I mean, that's what Vitor was kind of saying, was like having it for the voters might be a quick like visual check. But we can also leave it out and see if it matters. Like cutting from scope is really the place to be right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, it sounds like the immediate answer for you, Marco, is to don't worry about it for now. The dandelion voting graph.
Yeah. Got it. And then also just one more question I left in the Figma regarding the advanced settings for you, Mitch. So like if you can respond to that, I may be able to finish the whole thing by the end of the week.
So I wanted to, this is actually really good that we're in this call right now, because on the wireframe here, I have it in a separate one, all the advanced settings, which lines up a little bit more with the GitHub issue template. And most of these advanced settings don't apply to any module. Like this third one here, this is all token information. This one is the garden settings. This one is disputability. So there's very few of these that directly relate to a specific module.
Got it. Got it.
So,
okay, so then in that case,
Go
Well,
ahead.
in that case, like when user toggles the advanced settings, we can just reveal this panel with all these inputs.
Yeah, and I'd like to know, like, maybe what do you guys think, Griff or Vitor, Nuggin? Like, should these be tethered to modules themselves or have it directly apart like this? Because, I don't. Go ahead.
I like directly apart. I mean, I don't think that they need to. We're not going to show any graphs for them. And I think that just having them all be like, hey, you can change it if you want, but why would you? You know, and all in one section makes perfect sense to me, rather than necessarily breaking them out. Although I do like having like and explain why you changed the. I liked in the other thing where you have like these like explain why you're changing these, section. So that's really nice. But each one will have a link to a forum post, right?
I don't think so. Like, this is the summary page.
But for the advanced settings, if this is the only place we have the advanced settings, then like each one of the names should just link to the forum post if they want to learn what it means.
What do you think for design? Because, like, I'm thinking we just have a link in there that just sends them to the advanced forum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that'll work.
But I think that's a good point about having a input field somewhere for them to explain why they chose to use advanced settings.
Yeah, and explain why you're changing it to make it non-transferable. Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense, Marco?
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm just thinking about how we're gonna do that in the design, because then each of the input field needs a text area for explanation of why are you changing this.
Well,
you know what I mean? And that's gonna.
I think it could just be one field for the entire advanced area. Like if they change any of them, they can explain it in that one text box.
Yeah, you could take the same header and just say explain your advanced setting strategy.
I think it's already in the design too. It looked like it was there.
Yeah. So okay.
That's the overall.
I'm just gonna make this.
Okay. And I just want to take you back to this module 4 for a second, Marco. Because we also don't have the conviction growth graph in here.
And I ask you which one is that, because I may have missed it somewhere. So can you just paste the screenshot or something?
This one here on my screen. I'll drag it over. So this is the one that shows them how quickly they're accumulating conviction based on their setting.
And so you want to like have two, one line, and then like this one like overlay or something?
No,
like
I think this one can just be first, and then the second one be a separate. There be a second one.
And looking at that again, did we decide to change conviction growth to number field instead of a slider? I
mean, I think it makes more sense with all the. It makes it more consistent with the format. I mean, I understand.
Okay.
And it is conviction growth is just half-life days, right?
Yeah. Okay. So then, does that make sense to you, Marco?
Yeah, it does make sense. Just please answer me the question. Do we need like two charts here, like two graphs? Sorry.
Yeah.
Ideally.
like one below, like this,
Mm,
or not?
Well,
Or you think like we're gonna need this here, like I don't know, maybe something like that.
I don't know. I think it's going to be hard to put them both on the same chart. I I would say that like when they're selecting conviction growth, they see the wave chart, and when they're selecting the other two, they see this other one. Oh, that's nice. But I think having them overlaid might be more confusing than just having it
yeah,
be a separate chart.
because the X and Y are different values.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because one deals with
And then
percent
can we,
and
instead of
days.
that,
Go ahead.
can we instead of that have something like disputable voting, where you have this pie chart pop up, and then like add an icon to see an additional chart or something?
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
like,
could put it right next to conviction growth then.
but it
Like,
should pop up. Like it would be. I think it's harder to play with conviction growth on that big chart than it is to play with it on that on this chart. Like conviction growth does affect that chart, but it's the chart that's there. But it's like it's a little weird, you know? Like it doesn't communicate it doesn't communicate enough. Like this is like how fast voting power grows, and it's really nice to square in on that, you know?
So then you're saying when we select conviction growth, it shows a totally different chart in this area.
I think that would be the easiest, but or a pop-up. I like the pop-up, but as long as the pop-up is like not something you have to click to see, but it just pops up.
What if you had a pop-up like this with the slider, and then when they click out of it, it puts in the number in conviction growth?
That would be cool.
Thing is, yeah, we got an input there.
Does that make sense? What
So we
I
need-
just mentioned though? It's like conviction growth can have a
Ye-
pop-up, like you're saying, and it pops up to this, and they can use a slider to do the input. And then when they hit submit or next, then it shows the actual number value in conviction growth.
Yeah. I mean, that's fine, I guess. But you know what? Let's do it that way, and then let's test it and hear the feedback from users.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally down to delegate the details to you, Marco, like how you want it, if you want it to be a pop-up or you want it to replace the chart or whatever you think is best, you know, like we got to lean on your expertise here. But for sure, they should, when they're messing with that variable, they should be looking at this other chart.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What we cannot do here is when user clicks on this input here for the conviction growth, to immediately replace the existing chart with another one. We can't do that. So like if we have this chart here that is displaying this information, then this should stay. Like that's number one thing. If we need to show the second one, then the second one should either be below, also visible at all times. So when user changes a parameter on the left, it does reflect on that chart on the right side. So like that's option number one. Or option number two is the one that you also suggested, where if I click on the input, it pops up a modal with this chart on the right side where you can have a slider. The only thing there is that we also need to add an icon, for example, next to the next to this input so that the user can at any point toggle the view, right? So I added this small icon here, if you can see now. So it should always be visible, right? Or we might even not need that because when they click on it, that's already triggering it, so it might not even need that. So
Yeah.
I say let's do it that way. I'm gonna create a model here, prepare this chart here with a slider, and then we're gonna do user testing. And once we hear the feedback from users, we'll see like if that is okay or not, or if we need to just add another chart below this one.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think the pop-up one will probably be better, but we'll see. Like you said, we'll see what
Yeah.
Matt finds.
Okay.
Hey, there was just while we're still on the designs, there's also the like in the token freeze and token thaw, it's kind of confusing that it's like a price chart. And what really makes it confusing is this like the fact that the question is above the chart, you know? And I don't know, maybe it's too late in the game to make these kind of changes, but specifically for people were saying, and Melmanu, you can clarify this if I'm saying it wrong, but they were saying that they thought this was a price chart and it was just scary that it was going down. And then and I think it's because
Yeah. So.
yeah.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I think we're responding to your comment in Figma. So here's the thing: the question above the charts changes with each parameter active. Like when you click on the input field, it activates this field, and the question changes. Right. So like the question will change depending on which parameter you are clicking right now and making, adding to the input field. So like that's first, and then the second is. This is like the default state of the chart will be just a line, right? Nothing. Like there will be nothing on the chart. And as soon as you start adding like something, a number in the input field, the chart will change. So I think like it's hard to imagine this and maybe even, comment this on just a static mockup. So what I would like to do is once this is coded, or try to imagine how it will be the default state and how it will behave when user clicks on something. For that reason, I created a prototype to communicate this best possible, but it's really hard with static images.
Yeah. I think the most common use case that they will be coming with it pre-filled because they'll be clicking someone else's link and it'll already be pre-filled. So I think it's good just to start with that assumption because most people will be forking someone else's proposal as opposed to starting from scratch. Especially the users that would be confused by something,
I mean,
yeah.
Hopefully they'll have understood
But also
what these things do if they're forking a proposal.
Yeah, just wanted to say that like by that time, I guess like they will already know something, right?
Yeah.
And also, when they fork it, they're still gonna need to go through, like they're still gonna need to click on these checkboxes that yes, I understand what these parameters are. Take me to the configuration, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So
I mean, what if the question just kind of was, left aligned and it was over both the parameters and the chart?
For me, it just visually did not look good.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. No, I trust you.
It's really all over the place. It's like really crazy. So like I just kind of put it there and like had something on the left side that is sticky, and then have something on the right side that can scroll because obviously this can be a longer thing, right? So the idea is that these parameters are like kind of sticky on the left side, and always visible. And then you can like scroll up and down if there's a table below, or if the table will be longer or something like that. So yeah. Anyway, I think like that question, we shouldn't worry too much about it, because once this is interactive, it will be more obvious for the user.
Okay, that's cool. And Melmanu, did you have any comments as well on the designs?
No, I think what you discussed with Marco is fine. Some people were confused, but yeah, overall the feedback was good, and I'm just waiting to see what other modules we put out so that I can get more people to comment on them.
Cool.
And regarding like the graph going down, I think it should be okay. Like you know, like it should be like this is where the price can go, but this is not what is going to happen. Like if we do things good, right? Like I feel it's more like we can educate people. Like you know, like actually, like what this graph is saying is like just pure mathematical things. Like when all the tokens are auto vested, the price can go through to zero, and that's okay. But that happens with all the tokens actually. Like even with Bitcoin, like if everyone sells, it goes to zero. But like we need to use it like we should educate our community, and yeah, they don't have to fear about it. Like they just need to, like we as a community have to bring it value to the token so it will never go to zero.
Cool.
Another thing here we noticed on Sunday. Okay, good. I'm not muted. The reserve balance here. This can't be in here when they're adding a step, because if they change the reserve balance in between steps, it'll screw up the whole curve.
And
Yeah, exactly.
So,
It's just
should we just remove that?
yeah,
It should be.
Sorry, Nagin, go ahead.
Go ahead, Nugget.
yeah, no, it just has to be set at the beginning, and then the scenario gets calculated based on that number. So just put it above the buy or sell or somewhere like that, which just gets set once, and then the user can add the steps. Just
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
and then should adding a step be an advanced like mode thing?
I don't think so. Why is it advanced?
It could be a little confusing.
I mean, there's only like you only got two things, and it's like I think that's the point of the tool, is that people who need more context can get more. Like they're not actually setting any inputs; it's just a tool.
Okay.
Yeah, I think playing around is kind of a good idea for the people to kind of understand how it's working.
Yeah, because it's not an advanced setting; it's literally just a way to visualize the curve.
Yeah.
And then, like you're saying, Griff, is these points actually, these steps need to be the distance in between each point, right? Instead
Yeah.
of the points themselves.
Yeah, the buy or sell is the distance between the points. So the distance between the points should be labeled, not the points themselves.
Yeah, I think if we go, I mean, we don't want to look at this one again, but
Yeah.
like the step is the line. And then I think you even suggested one here.
Yeah, and I don't know, Marco, how you want to visualize that, but that's kind of this. I think this is closer to what the user would need to see than what's there. I don't know. It could just
I
be.
have absolutely no idea how to visualize this on the chart.
Yeah.
I mean, if like Vitor, if you can do some stuff on the front end here, or Fabio, who's going to be working on this, if you guys can think of how this can be done from technical standpoint, I could just look at an example and then change the styles of that chart
It
to
could.
fit our design.
It could be like just the line between the 2 points is red or green, or like has like a highlight over it if it's both. You know, if it's a buy or a sell, like the line could just change colors. So
You
like,
mean like a green line for buying and red for sell, something like that? So then we don't need to like state these in words.
yeah, and then maybe the because sometimes you'll have a buy and a sell over the same line, so maybe we just need to also account for that scenario. But it could just be like highlighted. It could be yellow underneath and then highlighted green, or highlighted red, or highlighted both green and red if the user if the scenario crosses that line and goes up the chart, then it's green. If the scenario goes down the chart, then it's red, and we just have to make sure that like if it could be both, you know?
Yeah, makes sense.
I kind of like the lines bouncing above and below the chart as well. I don't know if that is another option.
Well, it'll just
Like,
declutter it.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, because if we give a lot of freedom, like for the user to add the step that they want, it might get a little bit tricky, because I imagine if we wanna add like a lot of steps or like close steps,
They'll have
the-
maximum
like-
6.
No, yeah, I know, but even with 6, like if you
Yeah.
add like steps that that are close to each other, and then you like if you're doing like you program the front end, like you do it automatically, then probably it like will not look that good. But we can think in a way to do that like it looks good and it doesn't look cluttered. But yeah, that's my main concern. Maybe yeah. Yeah. Just thinking if we could visualize one at a time, would be better. But I'm not sure. Like for doing, because then otherwise we need to do some like checking if something like if some steps are crossing each other or something like that. But yeah, we gotta think about it.
Maybe
Make sure the best way.
maybe the line pops up like if they select a step on here. I don't know.
Yeah, it makes sense. Or yeah, like you can
Anyway.
you can yeah, we can think about it.
Yeah, that could be an idea. Just at the point, you just write the number, like number 1, number 2, number 3, and when you click the line, an arrow appears. Maybe that's easier to do or something. Like maybe.
Yeah, like it starts highlighted in the first step, and then you have like a next and back arrows and can move. But yeah, I think that because like I think if you wanna show all the steps at the same time, it might be confusing for people.
Yeah, that can get
Even
messy. That's true.
yeah, like even if we could do this in a way that the front end design doesn't look cluttered, I think for people like when you look at all these buy sell, like probably it's better if you look at them like one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But like once we have this design implemented, we can just like add this. I think like it just like change gets information to like more modules. But yeah.
Does that give you some ideas, Marco?
Yeah, but I don't know. Like the best, what I did from just looking at your mockups was this solution, and then I don't know, like if well, it will definitely help me if we could have something hacked on the front end first, and then I look at that, and then I can style it.
I liked the arrows idea that you guys were just talking about, where you just show one step at a time highlighted, and then people can somehow click between the step, and it highlights it down below, you know, as well. And so then it'd be very clear, you know?
Like if there was like 2 arrows in the
But
top
that's-
right there.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Hold a second, Mitch. But that's the intention, right? So like my intention was like when you click on a row, for example, that gets highlighted above, or if you click a dot on one of these, it pops up a. You click on one of these. Can you click on? Yeah. So
Yeah.
it just pops up with more information. You can either remove the step, but it also gets highlighted below in the table. So like that was the intention here.
Nice.
Again, it's hard. It's hard just looking at a static image. It's hard to imagine that, but like, you know, that was the intention here. And I think like when this is coded, it will be more obvious.
Okay. No, that's nice. And I mean the big red flag was that the points were labeled as opposed to the steps in between the points. But like that being said, I think it's then I'm glad that you and Vitor and Nuggin are all like kind of floating to the same point of the same idea of like, you know, one at a time. And I like the dotted lines too. The dotted lines could be, instead of changing colors between it or something, the dotted line would be enough. But maybe you only show the dotted lines for the step that's being highlighted, you know, and then you show buy or sell between the dotted lines.
Yeah. I mean, we could do all that stuff. I would suggest like Vitor and Nuggin, once we get to this module here, and you start coding this stuff, that like you know, we just do a quick sync on that and like see if you bump into anything that you think should be done differently or have an idea, you know, we could just have a quick sync on that and a quick hack session and see what's the best way to approach it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Vitor.
No, I was just saying that, yeah, I think like if we, because like Fab and Pedro are doing the front end, and then we can just sit with them and like you iterate on, I think it's the best way, because then you can iterate with them like the ideal design and what is doable, and then I think it's more productive. I totally agree.
The big fear I have with this is that this is likely to be when I'm looking at the different modules, this is the one that I feel like we're going to have the most trouble with user validation. So I just want to make sure we don't fall into the trap of doing a lot of work and then having to totally rethink it when no one understands what we're doing. So I don't know how to mitigate that risk, but I just want to make sure it's said, because this bonding curve stuff is clearly the most confusing piece.
Yeah, I agree with you. And for that reason, I would love for like Manu like to reach out to the people who already provided feedback and maybe just ask them to just quickly go through this page and leave their feedback purely based on a static image, right? Just watching at a static page and like or you know, clicking a prototype maybe and just leaving their feedback and see what comes out of that. I can imagine. Yeah.
Can
Sorry.
we just make some small changes on this? And like I don't know why it just bugs me so much that the points are labeled buy and sell, but it really kills me. It just destroys my. Like every time I look at this page, I'm disgusted.
I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Like
it should be mint and burn.
It should be it shouldn't be labeled the points. It should be the space between the points. And I feel like that's really confusing. And so we can
sure, Mitch.
Great. Yeah.
Mitch, can you?
Yes. Oh
can
God.
Can you answer that question, because I don't know. I just.
That's great.
Okay. I didn't know that.
I'm saved. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's it.
And the other thing I noticed is that they shouldn't be able to remove a step in the middle. If they remove like the first or second step, if there's 6 in total, that'll make some issues as well, I'm pretty sure. So there has to be a way that they can only remove the last step that they just added.
Yes, I think that's important, because I mean we can make it that you can remove steps in the middle, but it kind of changes everything that happens after, so it would only make it more confusing. So for simplicity, it should be just remove or add a step at the end.
Yeah, and I think that was in the original wireframe where they just had set step and remove step, and so it would add a new one or remove the last one that they just had.
Yeah, I think we discussed that on our last call.
Yeah.
Or the one before, so I think we made a decision already. Disregard that in the prototype in terms of like you can click and remove that step. So like the decision has been made, only the last step can be removed.
Okay, cool. Anything else for this?
Yeah, does anyone else have any design comments? I mean, this was quite the design deep dive, and much needed, but are there any last comments on design? I mean, it looks so sexy, man. I'm so excited. I've been showing this off to, I was showing it off to so many hatchers when I was doing all the things, and it was really huge, and it just looks, yeah, it's going to be really cool to show this off to people and get it in people's hands as soon as we can. Okay, well, you know, we only have 10 minutes left, and I didn't have, Vitor, were there any other agenda points that you want to make sure we cover?
No, I think we're good. Like, I think at least that team is like, it's well aligned to what we need to work, and I think the design is as well. So I think it's like on my side, at least, is everything all right.
Cool. Okay, well, let's just pass it around for like, what are your actions for this week? Like, my main thing is to make comments in the Figmas and do my own little user testing and dive in and also respond to some of the comments that have been responded to. Thank you, Marco. And of course, be around to answer any questions if anyone needs. Don't be shy. I have a lot more space this week now. Thank God the hatch is over. So I'm really excited to dive back in and have more time to make a more active contribution. But I don't actually know exactly where I'm needed the most. So Mitch or Marco or Vitor, if you guys need me, please, dear God, or think I can add value, ping me and tell me how to help. But with that, I'll pass it to Mitch. What's your plan for the week?
Just keep contributing, doing more validation on the design versus the wireframes, and any way I can support with the front end development. Yeah, I'll pass it to Vitor.
Okay, so in the front end side, I'll keep touching with Fabio to get sure the intro learning parts are good to go in your next call, in the next Sunday call. And with Pedro, I need to just change a few things in the module 1, the token lockup, and then I need to finish the backend for the module 2, so we keep ahead of time. And then just need to align a bit with Nagana regarding the ABC part and the rest of the other module, the conviction voting. They are the ones that are like have the most work to do, and that's it. Yeah, pass to Nagana.
Yeah, well, my plan was also to implement the stuff we talked about on Sunday for the rage quit and stuff from the bonding curve, and move it to the back end and kind of get that ball rolling, and we can sync up and continue communicating on that, of course. And yeah, that's mainly the plan. If I forgot, if Griff did Dan give you the list of contributors to the hatch, but if we get that, we can move on with the POAP also. That's minor, but since it's done. And yeah, that's the plan mainly. I'll pass it to Decimus.
Thanks, Hagen. Yeah, for me, I'm available. Regarding params, I don't feel I have any concrete task to do this week, but yeah, I'm available. And if you guys need some help on something that you think I can support, yeah, just reach me out, and I'm really available. And I'll pass it to Lauren.
Yeah, I don't have too much to do either. I'll just take a look at the figments and make some comments if anything comes up. But I'll pass to Marco.
Thank you. My plan is to finish design 100%, and I'm nearly there. So I just have the advanced settings, the analytics page, and also all the revisions that we talked about during this call. And yeah, that's my focus, and I'm gonna be done if you guys support me. And I have to dish praise to Mitch for supporting me all the time. So thanks a lot, Mitch. And yeah, that's it. I'll pass it over to Manu.
Thanks, Marco. I'll just keep the user testing. I'll wait until more modules are ready. And that's pretty much it. I'll pass it back to you, Griff.
Nice. Thank you, guys. Well, we're 7 minutes early. Take your 7 minutes and enjoy them. Thank you guys for another great Params call. Well, wait. Did I miss someone? I'm sorry. There is DRAT3. I see you join the call. I know you're kind of like new to the scene, but did you have any closing comments or anything to say? No? Mute button? No dice? Okay, cool. Well then, let's enjoy our time, and thank you guys for all the great work. This is the goal is to get this thing out by as soon as possible, so people can start playing with it. And I think we're on a good pace to get something in people's hands so they can start getting excited about collaborative economics. So thank you guys, and we'll see you at the next one.